Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this one. A midday live stream today. We're through the Easter weekends. The Easter weekends acting of Boston. And what a weekend we have had in Boston. What a weekend we have had in Boston. We saw a stunning upset over the weekend. We saw a fight of the year contender over in Britain between two British heavyweights, which is where we're going to start off with. It's only right that we start off with Fabio Wardley against Frazier, Clarke, both battling it out to a split decision draw. The most fair result, I think that is a fair result in my opinion, with what happened during the fight, with obviously the point deduction for your pure, which I will get onto in a minute. Which I'll get onto soon, and obviously the knockdown from Fabio Wardley early on in the fight as well, when Frazier had the first, it was fifth round, wasn't it? I think it was the fifth round that the knockdown came, and I must say Frazier has proved me one. He has proved me one. He proved me one in that fight, Frazier. I honestly thought this would be done in 6 rounds. Honestly, I thought Fabio Wardley. I wasn't shocked Fabio Wardley started slowly, to be honest. But I thought Fabio Wardley, he's one of them fighters who just turns it on in 1 round, and that's how he fights, Fabio Wardley. And that's what happened in the 5th round with the knockdown. And I thought to myself, why, this could be it now. This actually could be it. This is where he's found out Frazier Clarke's game plan, and exposed him. But yeah, it was a twist and turn fight, this one. Absolute classic. British classic, in my opinion. Absolute classic. An absolute slugfest between the two of them. And it was closer than I expected, to be honest with you. Because I thought it would be done in 6 rounds. I thought Fabio Wardley was a levels above Frazier Clarke. And it just showed that Frazier Clarke needed this opponent. He needed this opponent because, as well as he's not been convincing in his first few fights, Frazier Clarke, it just seems to be the name of Fabio Wardley is stepped Frazier Clarke's performance up even more. Because I had it 3-1 down into that, obviously, 5th round. I had it 3-1 in Frazier Clarke's favour. And you could see already, even halfway through the fight, Fabio Wardley's nose was a mess. And it's like Fabio Wardley just couldn't cope with Frazier Clarke's power. Frazier Clarke had the power on Fabio Wardley. And it was actually in 3 halves, this fight. It was like a yo-yo, this fight. First four rounds, you have to say, Frazier Clarke had the advantage. Then the knockdown from Fabio Wardley. Then Fabio Wardley obviously had the advantage after that knockdown. But then when we come on to the Frazier Clarke point deduction, very harsh for me. Very harsh. Yes, it was a low pro. It was a sneaky low pro as well by Frazier Clarke. But normally you would get you normally get 2 to 3 warnings for a low pro. That's what happens with. It's ironic. That's what happened with Frazier Clarke and Dave Allen, wasn't it? Like, Frazier Clarke was warned about 3 times against Dave Allen for low pros. For low pros as well. And it's just, for me, that's what cost Frazier Clarke the win. Honestly, that is what cost Frazier Clarke the win. That's what we're going to be looking back on, the point deduction. You should at least get 2 warnings. So, for me, that should have been the first warning. If he did it again, that's the second warning. Then, basically, 3 strikes, isn't it? It's 3 strikes and you get a point deducted, in my opinion. And very harsh for me. Absolutely very harsh. And you have to say, it probably cost Frazier Clarke to win. It cost Frazier Clarke to win. fine margins in this fight. Absolutely fine margins. Because I don't even think the knockdown would have won Wardley the fight, to be honest with you. I don't think the knockdown. But you have to do it by the rules, don't you? You have to do it by the rules, and you have to say a Tszyu was probably a fair result. A Tszyu was a fair result, let's be real. I honestly couldn't call it. Because Fabio Wardley was a warrior, absolute warrior. His eye was starting to close. He had his nose was a mess. It looked like his nose was missing. It looked like his nose was missing. Like it looked like he had no nose. All you could see was blood. And I'm happy. On my scorecard, I had Frazier Clarke winning. I had Frazier Clarke winning by probably 1 round. But that was without the knockdown. That was without the point deduction, which I would never thought was a point deduction. But obviously, with the point deduction, it's a fair result. It's the most accurate result for me. It is a draw. And I think Frazier Clarke should be proud of his performance. He boxed really well, Frazier Clarke. He fought really well as well. Fabio Wardley, I think from the knockdown onwards, Fabio Wardley, that was his advantage, wasn't it? That was his advantage. Basically, Frazier Clarke had the first 4 rounds. Fabio Wardley had like the middle rounds for me after that knockdown. And then towards the end of the fight, towards them championship rounds, you have to say Frazier Clarke had the advantage. It was just a lot of twists and turns in this fight. An absolute classic. And one of the best British heavyweight title fights we will ever see, in my opinion, And that's a bold statement. And for me, I think it needs to be next. I think the rematch needs to be next. Yes, let the rematch on at Portman Road at Ipswich. Yes, stay on at Ipswich Stadium. Because this would be big. This would be big. And for me, the second fight is going to sell now. It will sell the rematch. The rematch will sell, in my opinion. It will sell, and whether it will fill out a stadium, I think in Ipswich it will, because Fabio Wardley is obviously going to have fans there. And obviously Frazier Clarke's antics when they did have a face-off at Ipswich. And I love the respect at the end between the two of them as well. They called it bad blood. It was fucking bad blood in terms of the canvas. And fucking Fabio Wardley's notes. So, yeah, rematch has to be the rematch next, people. Surely it has to be the rematch. I think we'll be all gutted if we don't see the rematch, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, what a classic between Fabio Wardley and Frazier Clarke. So next up on the same card, obviously we will go through the boxer card first, then we'll go through the obviously Tszyu versus Fundora card. Chris Condor defeats Roman Martu with a career best performance, and for me, that is very accurate for me. Fantastic. It was a fantastic performance from Chris Condor. A fantastic boxing performance from Chris Condor. I just think he was too stiff. He was too stiff for Roman Martu. Roman Martu was trying to cut off the win, but he failed to do that. Because that was Martu's best chance, was to cut off the win. Don't get Chris Condor use his range, use his jab, boxing outside, which he did. Which is what Martu did. And it's a career best performance from Chris Condor. I don't know if I said it in my preview, but I think I said in my preview that the only way Chris Condor can win is probably on points. And I want to know if that's what happened. He won on points. Because he's more of a points fighter, isn't he? Yeah, he knows how to win on points, Chris Condor. Apart from that split decision. against Echo Esserman, where I actually think Chris Condor was probably unlucky, in my opinion, in that. I think that was a bit of a controversial split decision between Esserman and Condor, as much Esserman had obviously to join the first half, I think it was, which was ironically Chris Condor's last fight, ironically. And Chris Condor, to be fair to him, just goes straight into a big fight, doesn't he? You don't want to take a tune-up, goes straight into a big fight, defeats Roman Marku, and it was a stiff performance from Chris Condor, a brilliant, better boxing performance from Chris Condor as well. And Roman Marku failed to. It just felt like Chris Condor was probably the one opponent for Roman Marku, because Roman Marku failed to cut up the win against Chris Condor. And what next for Chris Condor? This is what I want to say. That's what I want to say. I want Chris Condor to settle the score with Echo Esserman and the rematch. With it, especially when it does a split decision, sure you get a rematch, in my opinion, if it does a split decision, for me. Because I felt Chris Condor was unlucky in that fight against Echo Esserman, and I wouldn't be shocked if Boxer have a look at that again, have a look at a rematch between them two, between Chris Condor and Echo Esserman. What next with Roman Marku? He'll come back. He'll come back, Roman Marku. He just needs to pick the right opponent for him, because Chris Condor would just look like it. In the end, it was just all one for Roman Marku, wasn't it? Just a one style for him. Failed to cut off the win. And Chris Condor, that suited Chris Condor, in my opinion. And that's what I would want to see next. Chris Condor to settle the score in the Echo Esserman rematch. I'd love to see that fight next. Oh. And up next, we got Ben Whittaker. Right, here we go. We got Ben Whittaker next, who outpoints Leon Williams in his toughest test today, which it was, to be fair. Fair play to Leon Williams, was actually Ben Whittaker's toughest test so far. Ben Whittaker, isn't it a bit ironic that Ben Whittaker, all of a sudden, when he did that caught, with them left hooks of Leon Williams, Ben Whittaker, he did actually tune it down. On the antics. I mean, he was still doing a bit of antics, wasn't he? But he did kind of tune it down, and he was thinking to himself, shit, maybe I should stop doing it now. And I keep telling people, this is what's going to happen. If he keeps doing it. Once he goes off the levels, Ben Whittaker, he can't be doing it. He can't be doing this antics. And people come at me saying, "Oh, you're a hater. I'm not a hater. I actually rate Ben Whittaker. I rate his boxing ability. He's a special talent. But these antics are done by his downfall. I'm sorry, it's done by his downfall. It's all done ending tears. People. He won't like it either. When it does get put on him. And Andy Clarke, fair play to him. Fair play to Andy Clarke. I think it was at the press conference. Yeah, it was at the press conference, final press conference. Andy Clarke called him out. He called him out on it. And Ben Whittaker was rattled by it. And all these people, all these YouTube boxing channels, let's be real, these YouTube boxing channels, they never criticise Ben Whittaker at all for his antics. It's because they are attracted to him, simple as that, and have a secret crush on him and all that. That's what it is. This shows they don't know anything about boxing, do they? Where yes, be real. I know he's an interviewer. I know they are interviewers and they have to like Ben Whittaker, but I think you can call him out as well. I think you have to call him out. Which certain YouTube channels on boxing I follow don't, because she does a watch on last night saying, "Oh, isn't he amazing? Isn't he amazing? Just pat him on the head. Just pat him on the head. He's such a good boy, isn't he? They treat him like a fucking puppy." Oh, shut up, honestly. And once again, I would keep on saying it. It's this walk, isn't it? It's this walk. They're thinking they know stuff when they don't. So no, I don't do it now. I'm just gonna call them out. I say what I mean. They know who they are. They know who they are. They know fuck all. They know fuck all about anything. Oh, isn't he a good boy? Ben Whitaker. Let's pat him on the back. Isn't he a good boy? You shouldn't be acting it, in my opinion. You shouldn't be Alden in the bottom win. You shouldn't be doing these stupid showboating in the bottom win. Chris Ruban Jr., he does it the right way. Chris Ruban Jr., he's only Alden outside the win because it sells his fights. Ben Whitaker, of course, he's going to sell his fights, definitely. Ben Whitaker is a pay-per-view star. I agree with that. But all this showboating in the win, he's going to regret it. I'm telling you, he will regret it. And I will be calling out these YouTube boxing channels when it does happen. Look, if he does it against the better opponents, the levels of opponents, and he gets away with it, and he gets to win, then fair play. He's probably the next Prince Nassim Hamid. Fair enough. But we need to calm down on this hype, in my opinion. You can't hype him up to that level when he's fighting pretty public opponents, fighting opponents who have been picked up from the sides of the bin, being homeless, basically homeless opponents, let's be real. So, yes, fair play to Young Ruins. He actually put it on Ben Whitaker, to be fair to him, and he didn't like it, did he? He didn't like it, Ben Whitaker. He's always saying he was smirking to decide to win. But let's be real, he didn't like it. Let's be real. And he needs to be humbled. I'm sorry. He needs to be humbled, Ben Whitaker. I think he needs to be humbled, in my opinion. So, but I'm not a hater, people. I am not a hater. I'm not saying he's an arrogant cunt and all that. I just think he needs to tune it down a bit. He just needs to tune it down. Because we're only there to see his boxing ability. Simple as that. We're only there to see his boxing ability. We are not there to see him showboating in the win. We are there to see him, to see his boxing talent, his boxing ability. He's special. He's a special boxing talent. I will say that. That's what we want to see. We all want to see a great boxing performance. But every fight we don't be talking about is showboating, and he's ruined it for himself. Look, he won every round. Let's be real. He won every round for me. He won every round, despite Ian Williams did put it on him. But let's be honest, Ian Williams didn't do enough, let's be real, to win a round. So, but yeah, unfortunately, I do have to talk about showboating again. I don't want to talk about his showboating, but it's his own fault. It's his own fault. This is why Andy Clarke is right to call him out, in my opinion, because it is ruining Ben Whitaker's performances. Because we just don't be talking about his arrogant showboating rather than his boxing ability and boxing performance. So, but anyways, what next for Ben Whitaker? I think it'll be obviously Lewis Edmondson has been rumoured for a show in Wolverhampton, and basically these two next potential opponents, they don't like him, they don't like Ben Whitaker, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Ben Whitaker against opponents who absolutely despise him. We want that fire as well. We want that back and forward as well. So, and obviously, ends with I wanted her. That's something else. It Winter, who confronted Ben Whittaker at the final press conference, during the press conference as well. Well, the security had to keep him away from Ben Whittaker, so that's going to be another one as well. So it's going to be, I think probably both of them next. I think it's going to be both of these fights next for Ben Whittaker, to be honest with you, because they both don't like him. Ben Whittaker will definitely take on both of them as well. And but just to say, I am not a hater of Ben Whittaker, but unfortunately, all we're talking about at the moment is his showboating in the win. We are not talking about his bottom performance, because his showboating in the win is stealing everything. It's stealing everything away from his bottom performance, and he's only got himself to blame. So this is why I'm not really giving Ben Whittaker any hype at the moment, or any high praise at the moment, because he needs to stop doing it. In my opinion. So, but like I said, he won every round, but it's just a shame we're talking about his showboating in the win again. It's something like this every fight. And I'm sorry, I'm not giving him any hype. I'm sorry, I'm not. But yeah, up next. Fadal Wardley remains unbeaten after a big step up for Fadal. I was quite shocked with the step up, where he went straight into the Mattel fight. Mattel, former British cruiserweight champion, of course, obviously lost it to Isaac Champion. Isaac Champion won all 12 rounds, didn't he, against Mattel, and it was the same here. Fadal Wardley won all 12 rounds, in my opinion, against Mattel. Mattel did not change at all. Nothing changed for him from that Isaac Champion performance. Once again, he was trying to stop Fadal Wardley, but Fadal Wardley was just too stiff for him. It was a stiff bottom performance from Fadal Wardley. Fadal Wardley completely outboxed him as well, despite Yoel was coming forward. But Mattel, he's basically, it was like waiting for a snail. To cross the finishing line. It's like waiting for Mattel to throw a punch. He threw nothing. At Fadal Wardley. It was Fadal Wardley just moved around the win, and he won all 12 rounds. Simple as that. And what's next? Mattel, he's done. He's finished. Mattel. He ain't fight. He's not at British level anymore. Let's be real. Mattel now is probably a cruiserweight gatekeeper, someone you want to face in your first fight at a cruiserweight division. When you're stepping up to cruiserweight, that's who you want to face first. You want to face Mattel first. Bit up to the Fox on crazy night of boxing, indeed, crazy night of boxing. But what next for Fadal Wardley? As I said for Mattel, he's done. He's finished. He's now a cruiserweight gatekeeper. Like, he's done me Yakadautasora heavyweight, in my opinion. Someone you want to face first in your first fight in that division. For me. What next for Fadal Wardley? Well, this is interesting because Fadal Wardley, Clarke, and Isaac Champion all had to be separated after the fight. After Fadal Wardley's interview. Isaac Champion interrupted the interview. They had a bit of back and forwards. Isaac Champion, obviously the British Cruiserweight Champion, Isaac Champion, and Fadal Wardley had a bit of back and forwards, and then Clarke just went, fuck this, I'll join in as well. Clarke, who has been ordered to fight Isaac Champion for the British Cruiserweight title. Obviously, Clarke is obviously Eddie Hearn's and Matt Room's fighter as well. So I don't see a Matt Room versus Boxer fight happening. So I do suspect it will be Fadal Wardley versus Isaac Champion next. But if it's been ordered, then that's going to probably stop at them plans, to be honest. But to be fair, I think Isaac Chamberlain will probably. I think he will take that Clarke fight, Isaac Chamberlain. I don't think he'll want to fake it, to be honest with you. And Tszyu Clarke, he's number 4, by the way. He's number 4 in the WBA cruiserweight rankings, and obviously the WBA cruiserweight champion is Gilberto Cerdo Ramirez as well. So Tszyu Clarke's quite high, isn't he? In the rankings at number 4 for the WBA. And to be fair, it's a bit early for Tszyu Clarke to be fighting at world level against Gilberto Cerdo Ramirez for his WBA cruiserweight title. Tszyu Clarke is probably fighting at the right level at the moment, with his prestigious level. He's up against Isaac Chamberlain. I think Isaac Chamberlain, he won't turn that fight down. I think that fight will probably get made at Matchroom on a DAZN show between Tszyu Clarke and Isaac Chamberlain. And yes, Ben Sion starts pretty getting involved. Ben Sion starts getting involved and pulling his fighter out again, like he has previously in the other divisions. But I even think Fundora versus Tszyu Clarke is actually a good fight, in my opinion. Both of them are stiff boxers as well, Fundora and Tszyu Clarke. Let's just have a triple threat. Let's just have a triple threat in the win. Let's do a fucking misfits fucking event. Have all 3 of them. Have all 3 of them in the win for the title. And but yeah, that's just me. That's just that nonsense that's going on, to be honest. It's gonna be a hard one, guys. What is next with Fundora? Because we don't know what's gonna happen with Tszyu Clarke and Isaac Chamberlain. Does that get made, or does Ben Sion end up pulling Chamberlain out and then make Wardley versus Chamberlain? So it's gonna be interesting. I don't have a clue. I think Fundora will probably have another title defense, to be honest with you, because I can't see Chamberlain wanting to withdraw himself from that fight against Tszyu Clarke, to be honest with you. So it could be any. We could even see Wardley versus Clarke, to be honest with you. To be fair, that would make sense. That would make sense, in my opinion. Have a British eliminator between Fundora and Tszyu Clarke, and the winner versus Isaac Chamberlain. Why not do that? Why not do that? And obviously, Tszyu Clarke can also fight for Fundora in this title, in this cruiserweight title as well. So it's a bit. That's what I would do. Fundora versus Tszyu Clarke in a British cruiserweight title eliminator, and the winner versus Isaac Chamberlain, in my opinion. But I'm pretty sure Chamberlain was meant to be fighting that Kaznav, wasn't he? Kaznav from Poland. I don't know what's happened on that. So that's what I think should be next. A clinical Tam Smith performance, a knockout performance, knockout victory for Tam Simpson. Definitely done inside 4 rounds. I think it was the 4th round or 5th round. Obviously, I was watching Man City versus Arsenal. The Man City versus Arsenal game. So, a clinical performance for Tam Simpson. Bid up to SWS Boxing. Hope you well. Don't subscribe to the channels. Don't subscribe to the Fourth Zone. Actually, don't subscribe to the Fourth Zone. He does boxing. He does boxing content. He does boxing podcasts as well. Well, mainly Misfits podcasts, but still watch it anyways. And he does do Arsenal content as well and football content. And don't subscribe to SWS Boxing, who does boxing content himself. And create boxing content as well. He does a lot of boxing interviews as well with professional boxers. And obviously he does boxing predictions as well. Simpson beats that, in my opinion, for it. I agree. I do actually agree. I think it's a tough one, though. I think it will be a close fight between the 2 of them. I do think it will be a close fight between the 2 of them, but I'll probably say it's probably 60% in Tam Smith, 60% in Tam Simpson's favour and 40% in Satchay's favour, or maybe 65 to 35, something like that. Satchay's got a chance. Because this is Tam Simpson's probably first step up, in my opinion, compared to the opponents he has had, Tam Simpson. So I do think this is Tam Simpson's first test, and I think he'll probably pass it, in my opinion. So I'll probably say it's 60-40 Tam Simpson's favour, or 65-35 in Tam Simpson's favour. So that's what I think should be up next, in my opinion. Thanks for the shout out, mate. No worries. Yeah, it would be a war. It would be a war as well. And I think it's been ordered, hasn't it? It has been ordered as well. And it's an easy fight to make, with both fighters, both being on Boxer's show as well, being both on Sky Sports. And yeah, an easy fight to make, in my opinion. So a clinical performance from Tam Simpson. And finally, for the boxer card, before we refer to Tszyu, before we refer to other boxing acts, and we saw the Savage Iron Babbitt beat Steve Robinson by TKO in 6 rounds, inside 6 rounds. It was only inevitable. It was only inevitable, in my opinion, because pretty much how I expected it to go. But I said it'd be earlier. Steve Robinson, awful defense for me. Taking too many shots. He was taking too many shots, and I think Steve Robinson's corner was ready to pull him out as well. While I was watching the Man City Arsenal game, I think Steve Robinson's corner was ready to just pull their fighter out. To be honest with you, and it was the right decision. He's just taking too many shots, and Steve Robinson, very poor. Piss poor defensively for me. And it'd be interesting though to see what's next for Iron Babbitt. And I've actually thought this. Obviously, Iron Babbitt obviously lost to Lucas Wistanski, didn't he? And obviously, Wistanski is fighting in a cruiserweight fight against a certain Lawrence Okoye. And I actually think it could be Lawrence Okoye's first fight at heavyweight, in my opinion. It would make sense for Lawrence Okoye to have his first fight at heavyweight after stepping up from cruiserweight, because he's tight at cruiserweight. And Lawrence Okoye, with the stature of Lawrence Okoye, even when you saw him at cruiserweight, he was always a heavyweight, wasn't he? He should have been in a weight division above, in my opinion, Lawrence Okoye. And I think it makes perfect sense for Lawrence Okoye to face Iron Babbitt in his first fight at heavyweight. That's what I think will be next for Iron Babbitt. To be honest with you, I think he'll be after Lawrence Okoye's had his fight at cruiserweight. And I know there's a lot of debate about cruiserweight, isn't there? Like, is it really a real title and a real division? Not for me. It's not really a real division for me, but at least it's something for Lawrence Okoye to step back out, isn't it? Step back out and win. Have a nice paper title, and step up to heavyweight. Yes, read the comments. I've heard it could be in Barnsley. That's obviously concerning Tam Simpson versus Saturday. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard that will be in Barnsley, and I've heard that Ben Whitaker will face US Edmonton in a Wolverhampton show. The Savage is back. He is back, and obviously it's a nice comeback win for him as well after the brutal defeat to Lucas Wistanski as well. Stephen Shaw creator, I would see Steve Robinson versus TK3. I think that's a good shout. For me. Because TK3 for me, I just don't rate him at all. And I think Steve Robinson might actually have a chance in that fight, to be honest with you. TK3 for me is obviously well-known sparring partner for AJ as well. And but we saw what happened when he got that brutal defeat. I can't. The name has escaped me. When TK3 got that defeat, the name has completely escaped me. I forgot his name now. But obviously, most recently, it was a brutal defeat as well. Who would you want Boris to face next? I think it should be Don Satori, but obviously, Don Satori is fighting first, isn't he? Then Stansty, and that will probably lead to what you said. Alan Boris then Welch next, I think. And before people start, I'm not related to Tommy Welch. I'm not related to Tommy Welch just because my last name is Welch. I'm not related to him. So, yes, take that out of the comments, please. Yes, take that out of the comments. I'm not related to Tommy Welch. But yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. And I think Babbitt, someone's told for that fight, haven't they? I think it's Babbitt or Welch. One of them has told for that fight next. I think it might have been Babbitt. Tough to call. Yeah, I think it was him. I think it might have been him, actually. So, but we now move on to the other cards now. Obviously, it was took place earlier yesterday morning, and we saw a massive upset, didn't we, with Sebastian Fundora overnight pulling off a major upset over Tszyu to win the WBO and WBC titles. I must say, Tszyu obviously won the first 2 rounds easy, didn't he, Tszyu? But then that accidental elbow changed everything for me, changed everything in the fight. And fair play to Sebastian Fundora, because I thought I wouldn't trust Fundora to pounce on Tszyu like that, but he did. Sebastian Fundora using his range, using his high volume as well, high volume and range. The cut for Tszyu completely affected him. I know that's a bit astute. To be fair to Tszyu though, to be fair to him, he didn't make any excuses afterwards. Tszyu said, fair play to Sebastian Fundora. And this is the thing again with boxing. Do not sign fights before they actually fight. Because Tszyu versus Terence Crawford was getting ready to be announced. This is why you don't sign fights before the fights. We've seen it before in the heavyweight division. We saw it with AJ and Wilder, where Wilder just putting the stinter, then Joseph Parker. And that fight didn't happen. And Crawford versus Tszyu is never going to happen now. Let's be real. And yes, Terence Crawford thinks to himself, yes, have a first fight at super welterweight, and yes, catch Tszyu on the back of a defeat. Maybe he might think that. But yes, Sebastian Fundora, I think he's definitely one of the boxers of the weekend for me. One of the boxers of the weekend, one of the boxing performances of the weekend. He pounced on Tszyu as well. He outboxed him and frustrated Tszyu as well. And Sebastian Fundora is now a unified world champion. I don't agree with the WBC title being on the line, to be honest with you. But that's just the politics in boxing. And Sebastian Fundora, to defend his belts, in my opinion, against his mandatories. Terence Crawford, the WBO mandatory, and obviously we saw Terry Bonachuk, that is winning Brian Mendoza in a brilliant performance for Bonachuk to outbox Brian Mendoza like that, who picks up the WBC interim title. WBC interim title as well. And I think it will be. This is why it's a mess. Because Bonachuk has the WBC interim title, but Fundora is obviously now a unified champion, WBO and the WBC belts. Terence Crawford is probably going to take that fight straight away. Terence Crawford will take that fight straight away, saying, you know what, this is my chance to become another unified champion in another weight division. It's just a bit of a mess. it's a bit of a mess because who does he defend against? Because both titles are held by Fundora. And what I see happening is, you know what? This is what I see happening. Honestly, I think this is written. This is written, in my opinion. Errol Spence, who was inside the ring, calling out Sebastian Fundora. I actually think WBC might actually do that, you know. Errol Spence, big name as well. Errol Spence is done at 147. Let's be real. He's done at 147. He got tight at 147 in that performance against Thames Crawford. And that's what I can see happening. I can see Bonachuk actually defending his WBC interim title, probably being ordered to defend his title against Errol Spence, in my opinion. And it'd be an interesting fight if that does happen. It'd be an interesting fight because Errol Spence, he's not been fighting, has he? He's not been fighting Errol Spence. He got completely outclassed by Thames Crawford, that undisputed fight as well. So, but I can just see this happening. I really can see this happening, people. I can see Bonachuk defending his WBC interim title against Errol Spence and Fundora defending his belt against Thames Crawford, in my opinion. Because if we do have a Spence Crawford rematch, it does need to be at 154, in my opinion. If that rematch does happen between the two of them. But obviously, let me know your comments down below on that. Right. I think the Tszyu Tszyu definitely want a rematch. I think he'll call for it, won't he? I think Tszyu will call for a rematch. I won't mind seeing it because it would be intriguing to see a rematch. But Tszyu, but fair play to Fundora. You know, say that, fair play to him. Tim was in full control of the opening two. Yep, completely agree. And had Sebastian hurt in them opening two. Yeah, exactly. It's just that I think I don't want to make excuses for Tszyu, but I think it was that accidental elbow which caused a cut, which did affect Tszyu. I'm not trying to take anything away, but that's why it would be intriguing to see a rematch. I had a draw in that fight, very close. I take it you expect are you talking about the Fundora or the Bonachuk? Spence wants to fight Sebastian, yeah. I said that before. Errol Spence, he needs the big fights, doesn't he? I think he needs the big fights. He ain't going to take a tune-up, is he? Errol Spence. Bit like Thames Crawford now. Both of them not really going to take any tune-ups. They want to be in big fights straight away. Crawford beats Fundora in 4. Yeah, I think he definitely beats him inside 6 rounds, in my opinion. Thames Crawford, he's unreal, isn't he? He's unreal, Thames Crawford, and probably one of the best boxers we've probably ever seen, haven't we? Thames Crawford, especially with the way he defeated Errol Spence as well. And yeah, I actually think it could happen, Bonachuk, because you know the politics in boxing. Because I actually don't think Errol Spence deserves it. Same with Thames Crawford. I think both of them should be really trying to earn the shot instead of being obviously mandatory straight away. But they're both big names, and the politics in boxing, they're both going to put them in big fights, aren't they? And that's what they want. That's what Spence and Crawford want. They just want to be in a big fight straight away. For me, we spoke about Bonachuk. Good win. His biggest win on his resume so far for Bonachuk. Beating a dangerous Prime Mendoza. Mendoza, who is dangerous, who can stop you. But Bonachuk, all of his wins have been by knockout. First time Bonachuk has won on points, and I correctly predicted that would happen as well. And it's a new learning curve as well for Bonachuk. First time being tough to points as well. And he's got the rounds in him now as well. It's just going to make him even more of a dangerous fighter as well for Bonachuk. So Esnan Diarra take out Michael Safara in the second. Billy Khan to retain the WBA World Middleweight title. Two inactive fighters, not been active for 2 years for both fighters. But good performance from Yara. Did what he needed to do. A job done performance. And what is next for Yara? These are the options. These are the options that are picked out. It could be a voluntary defence against Chamel Charlo, who is now vacated all of his super welterweight belts, of course, after that fight with Canelo Alvarez. Chamel Charlo, I think he's done at super welterweight. It's been a bit quiet on Chamel Charlo's front after that defeat to Canelo. I think he has to step up to middleweight now, Chamel Charlo, because for me, the middleweight division is the most open division in boxing, in my opinion. I'm not really, even the champions for me, even the champions in that division, I'm not really convinced by any of them, to be honest with you. So Chamel Charlo's probably got a chance to become a world champion in the middleweight division. And Esnan Diarra, not been active for 2 years. Okay, he took out Michael Safara in the second round. Got the job done, did what he needed to do. Esnan Diarra, and these are the potential opponents at the name. Maybe a unification net. I think that's a sensible one for me. The unification net since Chamel Charlo, who is Chamel's brother. Chamel Charlo, then he's not been active. He's not been active either. Okay, he beat Jose Benavidez back in the back end of last year in his return fight. So even that, I think that fight would be at the top of Esnan Diarra's list, in my opinion. We got the number one. We got the Nets. We got the number one in the WBA in Isata Garcia. Garcia as well. I think that fight would happen, and obviously a potential unification with Janabek. So be interested to see what is next for Esnan Diarra. But I think all of them are realistic options for me. Could be any of them. But I can probably see that Garcia fight, probably. I can probably see that Garcia fight. Chamel Charlo, again, he's been an undisputed champion. A bit like Spence and Crawford, Chamel Charlo will be thrown straight in, maybe for a title shot in the middleweight division. But yeah, insane knockout. It was an insane knockout for Yara. And again, us British fans are thinking to ourselves, why is Chris Eubank Jr. not fighting for these middleweight titles? It's because he's a money man. Chris Eubank Jr. only cares about money. Even though he said, he can't believe a word Chris Eubank Jr. says for me, because he said he wants to fight for a world title, but then he decides to fight Conor Benn and Ewan Smith, which are basically money fights, let's be real. And it's just frustrating with Chris Eubank Jr., but the only fight that's next with Chris Eubank Jr. is Kell Brook and Conor Benn, in my opinion. They're the only fights next with Chris Eubank Jr., then I think he's done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think Eubank Jr. should be fighting for one of these middleweight titles, because I'm not really convinced by anyone in the middleweight division. Not even convinced by the champions, to be honest with you. I think they're all beatable. Janabek, in my opinion, I thought Denzel Bentley beat Janabek, in my opinion. So it is one of them. But up next, we saw Tszyu Cesar Martinez take a majority decision win over Antonino Cordova to retain his WBC flyweight title. It wasn't a close fight for me. I thought Martinez won it by more than that. In my opinion, I think I scored it. If I was being nice, I did Cordova 4 rounds for me. If I was being nice, but for me, there was no way that was a close fight. I thought Julio Cesar Martinez was the better boxer for me. This fight has been willing to take place for over a year now, hasn't it? It's had cancellations. We finally got this fight, and Martinez, for me, I think he did a job, in my opinion. He did the job on Cordova. I think he won it by more than that, in my opinion. There's no way I can only give Cordova 3 or 4 rounds for me. That's all I can give him. But for me, Julio Cesar Martinez won the majority of the rounds for me, and he probably will defend his title against his mandatory David Jimenez as the next Costa Rican, which will probably be on another PBC show, won't it? Which will probably happen on another PBC show. We don't know which one yet, but it probably will happen. So, let's remove that. We've got 2 more fights to talk about. Over at the Zone. We saw Sergio Ramirez defeat Aslan Dorman to win the WBA Cruiserweight title at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. The first ever Mexican Cruiserweight World Champion, Gilberto Sergio Ramirez. And it's a very interesting WBA rankings now, isn't it? Because we saw, as I said earlier, we've got Clarke, who's at number 4 at the WBA. And for me, I can see Gilberto Ramirez defending this WBA Cruiserweight title against the number one in the WBA Cruiserweight rankings, obviously behind Ramirez, which is Yoniel Dos Santos. I think it's the Philippines fighter. I don't know if he had one, but I can see that happening next to Ramirez because Dos Santos has been wanting the title shot, hasn't he? The fight with Aslan Dorman didn't happen in 2023. Didn't happen when that was supposed to happen, but when he was mandatory. So he'll be the one banging on the door for a title shot, in my opinion. So, but yeah, Sergio Ramirez, he completely outboxed Dorman. Dorman's inactiveness showed, didn't it? Not being active for 2 years. Sergio Ramirez not being active for yet a year or so. And obviously his last win was against Joe Smith. But Sergio Ramirez is a world champion now. But again, this is the thing with politics and boxing. I don't know how he can jump off the cruiserweight straight away and become a world champion just like that. It's a bit of a mess, boxing, isn't it? A bit of a mess. And it's a bit harsh on people who were above Sergio Ramirez, that they don't get a title shot, and all of a sudden Sergio Ramirez in his first couple of fights, a cruiserweight, becomes a world champion. I mean, I don't like it, to be honest with you. I don't like it, but I think this is the final fight I'm going to be talking about, I think. Yeah, this one. Isaac Cruz puts in a dominant display to stop Roy Romero to become the UWBA World Super Lightweight Champion. Brilliant performance for me. Brilliant performance from Isaac Cruz. Been an absolute nightmare for Roy Romero. As I expected. It's as I expected. I just couldn't see how Roy Romero would keep Isaac Cruz off him, to be honest with you. There are a lot of questions about Isaac Cruz. Could he make the weight? Because for me, Isaac Cruz, to be fair, he wasn't before. Just give me a second, people. thought that was the other 3 for me. But yeah, before obviously the fight week, we all were talking about Isaac Cruz to make, and he made the weight. But he's always done that for me, Isaac Cruz. When you think he doesn't look like he's on weight, but for the first press conference, but for the final, when it does come onto that final week and fight week, Isaac Cruz was in perfect shape, wasn't he? Was in perfect shape, and I did fear for Roy Romero. And as I expected, Isaac Cruz was always going to be on weight as well. It's what he does, Isaac Cruz. And it was a dominant display. He was proper stalking Roy Romero as well. Proper stalking him. And the stoppage was inevitable, wasn't it? Stoppage was inevitable. And Roy Romero, this is the only way Roy Romero could win. Even Roy Romero couldn't win on points because Isaac Cruz would have probably won the scorecards as well. It was that dominant. It was a brilliant performance from Isaac Cruz. And the fight I want to see next, this has got me tickling, this fight. And it should be happening. And it should be happening, and that is Isaac Cruz versus Ismael Barroso. Ismael Barroso, who holds WBA World Super Lightweight title, who holds the WBA interim Super Lightweight title, and deserves that shot, and deserves another shot at world title. Ismael Barroso. It was going to be Barroso versus Roy Romero. That was probably going to be the fight next. But why not have this fight? This would be an absolute war between the two of them. Isaac Cruz and Barroso. Barroso's dangerous left hand, cut as well, which we saw against O'Hara Davids. What a fight this will be. And this is the fight to make for me. This is the fight to make. Isaac Cruz versus Ismael Barroso. Imagine that on a PBC show as well. Could that be a main event on a PBC show? Who knows? But it is main event. It is main event worthy, in my opinion, this fight. It'd be an absolute blockbuster. It'd be an absolute war between the two of them. And someone will get stopped. And someone would get stopped in this fight. If I was to say who I would make favourites, well, you'd say Barroso is probably, he is aging, isn't he? Barroso. I would favour Isaac Cruz. Having said that, though, I would favour Isaac Cruz if they were to fight Isaac Cruz and Barroso. But it's a great fight. It is a great fight, in my opinion. So I think that should be the fight to make next. So, and I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I've spoke about everything, haven't I? Yeah, I've spoke about everything. Obviously, I did my Ostafaro days with him, obviously, on Saturday. And, but yeah, massive appreciation to everyone coming in. As I said, don't subscribe to people in the comments. Create channels, and I shall end the side screen now because I do need to do my Liverpool versus Brighton massive room, and I'm going to be doing the Sheffield United preview in the same video just to make it easier. Massive appreciation to everyone tuning in for this bottom review. Take care, stay safe, and tomorrow my bottom review, my bottom previews will be out for Jordan Dill versus Stephen Barrett card, and what's the other card? I think it's Gerard Anderson, isn't it? Gerard Anderson, there's Riyad Mahi card. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. As for today, obviously there will be the 2 Korean mod episodes coming out for Taro and Liverpool. Obviously the Liverpool versus Brighton massive food coming out after the side screen. So yeah, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video.